by maybe 3-digit numbers or 2-digit numbers or 1-digit numbers. We're gonna be adding big numbers. What does it mean to add?
It
When you're
means
adding.
to add like one number to another.
Okay, so are you taking things and are you splitting them apart? Are you putting them together? Like if you were adding a few 10 sticks with another 10 sticks, what's the action?
You're putting them together.
You're joining things. You're putting them together.
You're putting the family together.
Yeah, you're combining. You're taking things and putting them together. That's what adding means. It's the action of adding. So right now on your board, I want you to build with your base 10 blocks this number. Just build it on your board. Right here, yep. On your mat, maybe I should say. I'm gonna move you over. There you go. So that you're not on top of her. That's okay. Move you over a little bit. There you go. So whatever you need. So build this number.
1, 2,
So how many hundreds do you have? 2 hundreds. How many tens? 6.
7,
And how many ones?
4.
And these have the same value. Ones, tens, hundreds. Alright. Oh,
I got my computer.
that's okay. So I like how you saw what someone else was doing and decided to make a change.
Improvising.
Improvising, yes. Alright, so ladies, we have a number here. We have 274, but each of the values of this number has a different meaning. It has a different value. So the 4, point to the 4 on your mat. Where do you see 4? 4 should be 4 ones, and this is a ones cube. Okay, so we should have 4 ones on the board. Not 4, Cherish. Pick your favorite 4. There you go. So now you have 4 ones. Ones are always in this place value. Then you go to the next place value. What are those called?
10.
10. So how many tens should be there?
7.
7 10 sticks. And how many of these little ones make up a 10 stick?
10.
10. And we've done that a lot. We've
Yeah.
counted and seen, and we're convinced now that there's 10 ones in a 10 stick. So Cherish is making 7 10 sticks because there's a 7.
I got confused because I thought there was supposed to be 4, 4 tens and then 7 ones.
And that's where a lot of us get confused because we forget that our place value goes in that order all the time. Ones, tens, hundreds. So if we remember our ones, tens, hundreds, it's always in the same order. That will help us with our mental picture and our model. Then how many hundreds did you have?
2.
So could I say 2 hundreds plus 7 tens plus 4 ones? Would that give us the same number?
Yes.
Could I say 200 plus 70 plus 4?
Yes.
You sure?
No, wait.
Is this 200?
Yeah.
What's this number?
7.
7?
70.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 4. So is this adding it together?
Yes.
200 plus 70 plus 4? It could work. That's expanded form. We've done that before
It's
a little
okay
bit.
if we make mistakes because even the smartest people make mistakes too.
Exactly. And if you make a mistake, it's just going to help us learn. Like when Cherish said, oh, I accidentally put 4 ones in the tens column, that helped us all remember that this was the ones column, this was the tens column, that was the hundreds column. So that helped us out. All right, so we have our number, 274. We're going to also put a number, but we're going to put this number below the number. Put the number 158. 158. So I'm not going to let you see that number first. I want you to try to build 158. $158. Like how you partnered those up in twos, because then
I
I can
got
count.
exactly 8
2,
of them.
4, 6, 8. Awesome. You can count them by twos. Can you put yours in partners? 2, 4, 6, 8. So we can count them quick later. All right. So we have our number now. We have 274, and we have the number 158. And we're going to add them together. When we actually add them, that means we're going to put the two values together and try to see how many there are. So let's start in the ones column, because that's the smallest, and those are always going to build to the bigger numbers. So So now you gotta take this 8 and the 4 and move them together. So how many are there? And we like to put them in partners so we can count to 10.
There's 12
Let me
of
see.
them. There's 12 of them.
So you're saying there's 12.
I agree. And we
Mhm.
all know that 10 ones makes a 10 stick, so
Okay, so 10 ones make a 10 stick. And then how many more are there after that? If you're saying there's 12.
there's 2.
2. So 10 ones makes a 10 stick and 2 extra ones. So Brianna, do you think we should trade in? Or do you think we're okay keeping all those ones there?
Trade.
Trade. The reason we have to trade is only one digit goes in each place value. So we can't put 12 ones here. Because, oh, keep going, yeah, what are you thinking?
Because then it could be mistaked for in the thousands, and really it's not.
The number could end up having
Because
4.
In tens it's only 2 digits, in ones it's only 1, and then in hundreds it's 3, and then it keeps on going in 4.
So you're gonna mess up the place value if you put 2 digits over there. So if you have a 10 stick, the 10 stick always goes in the tens count. So if you wanna trade in for a 10 stick, how many will you trade me to get a 10
10.
stick? Okay, so you're gonna give 10. Do you have your 10? You wanna trade in for a 10 stick?
I already did it.
Already did it.
I already did it.
Awesome. And there's your 10 stick. Now doesn't that 10 stick look kinda like it shouldn't be in the ones column?
Yeah.
Put it back in and grab your 10 stick. So then a lot of people, when they're doing standard algorithm, they don't get some ones out because you've already done that. Here, so keep that there, keep your 10 stick, but it does look weird, doesn't it? So now we have a choice. We wanna keep this, because you even said we can't have more digits.
No.
So we have to move this over to the tens column. We're gonna take our 10 ones that we made and move it over to the tens column. So what would I do in my abstract or in my number model that I have going? Where would I put the 2 ones and where would I put the 10
Wait a
stick?
second.
Yeah, that I just moved
There's a
over.
problem here.
What's the problem?
There's 13 10 sticks and you can't have.
Oh no, we gotta deal with that in a second. But what are you gonna do? Where am I gonna write this extra 10 stick that I just did?
You can you can change out the, you could put the, put a 1 here so to make it 17.
Well, not 17. We're just gonna put a 1 up here, cause that's an extra 10 stick. But I see what you were thinking, so if you put a 1 by the 7, that is gonna look like 17.
And then,
But that extra 1 that we just moved over, that's not a 1, it's a 10 stick, but we moved it into the tens count. So Brianna, how many 1s do we have left?
2.
2. This is hard stuff. This isn't easy work. This is difficult to look at. Then what are you gonna do with your 10s? Can you count up those?
You have to
So let's count them first and let Brianna count, and then you can tell us what you wanted to say. So what are you thinking?
You can trade out 10 for 100 bucks.
Okay, so let's get our 10s together, and when we're trading for 100, that means we're moving the place values. We're moving the place value over. Okay, so you're trading in 10. Alright, put your 10, and you need a new 100 on your board.
That one.
Now, a lot of you are adding it to that second 100, but if we were gonna really do this, we'd have 13 10 sticks. Where would we put the 100 and then the 3 10 sticks? How would we write it if we were just writing it in the standard way?
You would do.
Where would we put that
You
extra?
would put the 2 in the ones place, which it already is.
And then we had our extra 10 stick.
And then you traded all of those for 100, so you put that in 100.
So we have to put that extra 100 up here. We've gotta make a note that we traded all these 10 sticks for 100. So like if you still had yours, we had this extra 100 and people think like, I'll just put it on top to wait. And then what do you have to do with those 10 sticks? Where do you put those? Brianna, where do you put those in this?
In the 10s place.
In the 10s, and how many do you have?
3.
Okay. And then, what do we end up with the hundreds?
We end up with 300 because 2 plus 1 would be 400. But we carried out 1.
What does that mean when you carried it? What was it that we did?
We added 1 more.
Because there was how many 10 sticks?
13.
10, well there was 13, but the 10 is what we moved over. So you're right, so there was 3 plus the 1 that we grouped together and put in the hundreds. Now there's 4. So now check your board. Do you have 432 on your board?
Yes.
Alright, so we did this one really together, and we talked about grouping, and then we moved over a 10, and then we added together, we had 10 tens, so we moved it over for 100, and we added our hundreds. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I'm gonna have you write the numbers on your board first, and then you're gonna model it out. Alright, so you're gonna write the numbers on your board, so get your marker ready, and then we will model. Alright, so the first number is 183. So 183, make sure you have hundreds, tens, and ones. 183. And you can write that one and then build it.
I wrote it down.
Nice. So 183, then we'll add. We'll combine and join another number together.
Just like the one.
Mm-hmm. Now move those over for you, Cherish. 183.
Well, that helps. There was some. Perfect. This is 3. Yeah.
So I wrote, whoa, you guys wrote that number, but I wrote this. Am I wrong? Yeah, maybe.
No, no, you're not. No,
How is the number you wrote, the number you built, and the number I wrote the same?
because 100 plus. Because we know that when you multiply a number with 10, it's always gonna equal adding a 0 to it.
So will you try to prove what this one is? Is it on your board, this 8 times 10?
Yeah, because.
Where is it? Look at it, Brianna, try to prove it. Where's 8 times 10? What do you know about multiplication? What does that mean?
Multiplication means like this means we add and then we double up the number.
Well, not double it up, what are you adding? How many groups of 10 is this?
8.
8 groups of 10, are these tens? 8 tens, is there 8 tens?
Yes.
So my number's way more complicated, and you wrote it in the standard form, but this is still the same thing, 100. You have 100, point to it. There's your 100. 8 groups of 10, that's 8 10 sticks, point to that one. And 3 ones. I could have said 3 times 1 too, I could have said 1 times 100, but that
No,
would have
that's
been,
way too.
it would have been, a little bit way too complicated. So we have 183, and we're gonna add 98 to it. So you're gonna keep your 183 up, and then you're gonna add 98 to your board. So 183 plus 98. So we wanna join 98 and 183 together, and make sure your place values are right. So I want you to look at how you wrote it, and then how I wrote it, and see if you see anything different. Would it matter? So the plus sign, yeah. But if you were trying to keep yours in the right place value, can you tell what place value that 9 is in? Is it in the tens or the hundreds? Here, I think we have some eraser somewhere. So what place value? They're really important. It's like, remember when Cherish put those 10 sticks in the one column and the
Yeah.
one, and she was like, this is not gonna work,
Right.
oh my goodness, what happened? That's the same thing, if you put the numbers in the wrong place value,
Then
you're
you
gonna
get
have a
confused.
totally different answer.
I get confused.
Yeah. It's really important. And
I
now we-
fixed it.
Good, so now it will work out hopefully to match your model. Alright, so now you gotta build 98.
Ow, I cracked my thumb.
Alright, keep going. Put them in partners so that we can quickly see when we have 10. Alright, so if you're ready, you can go on and see, what would you do on this first one? 8 plus 3. How would you trade in or add to it? What are you thinking to do? So tell me about this. You have 8 and then there's their 9 here. How would you make a group of 10 really quick? How would you make a group of 10? So you have 9 here and 8 here.
4, 7.
Let's start with the ones.
That's 8. Okay.
Because this is where we're always going to start when we add. So 8 plus 3. Can you see a way to make a group of 10 quickly?
I do.
Make it.
Okay.
switch it, do what you gotta do. So let's look at the biggest number here, Brianna. Look at what you have. 2, 4, 6, 8. What do you have to move down to make 10? 2, 4, 6, 8. How many more make 10? 2. 2 plus 8 is 10. So now you have 2 extra. Let's look at what you had when you started. Let's look at this number.
Can I go ahead?
Yep, you can trade, you can do what you need to do, because then we're going to compare what you got with what you have. Yep, I'll right with you. So I need you to look at this number. I think you have the wrong number on your board. 183. You have 180. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Alright, let's make sure it's 80. 2, 4, 6, 7. Did you move one over here?
That's enough for
8.
100 now.
And make sure that one's,
Oh yeah, I see.
make sure that one's 9. 90.
Yeah, I
9, 10 sticks. Run a double count. I know. Ooh. Alright, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Alright, so now let's move down here. We gotta make a 10. So we always start with our ones place. That's 8. Alright, what was your question?
I'm confused because then if you would, it was, if there's 10, well, there's 13,
Mm-hmm.
but 13 can't live in the 10 house.
Is there 13? So let's set up your 3 and your 8. Set them up in groups of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's try to find out if it would be 13. Alright, so we've got, here's your 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and she has 1 extra. What are you going to do with this group of 10? Because you can't put that there's 11 in the same column. You can't do it. It's not going to work. You can only have 1. So it looks like we got stuck, and then you have 2. Tell us about that.
Well, when you have 8 plus 3, and then which is, if you add the 2, it equals 10 to 11, and then
But you have 2 there.
Yeah.
So maybe get back out your model and show us what you're saying, because I think you're onto something with that 8 plus 2. That was really smart thinking.
Then what happens is you take the 10 away from the 11.
Okay, so let me model what you're saying. So you have 11. You take the 10 away from the 11. How many ones are left?
I forgot to move 1.
That's okay. So but listen to yourself even when you're talking. That 8 plus 2 is 10. That was really good thinking. Make 10s. Then you have the 1. Moving the 1 over. Alright, so now you have 1 left. So let's try to do it this way and this way. See if you're getting the same answer. Alright, so what are you going to do, Brianna, with this 10? And 1, you have 11, but you can't put 11 here. So you need to do some trading. That's 10. Okay, so get rid of the 10. Okay, see if you get the same thing if you add the numbers going up and down. This 8 plus 3 and 9 plus 8. Let's see what you got. Alright, so you're putting 10 over here. We gotta have all 10. This is 8, 9, 10. Alright, I'll give you a 10 sticks. Now you have 11. That doesn't look right, so use your marker. What would you do? You can't put 11 here. How many ones? And then this 10 stick, you gotta move it over. So how would you write that? Alright, so now you gotta work with your 10 sticks. See if you can make a group of 10. Alright, so what did you get on this one? 8 plus 3. Alright, does it match what you have here?
Yeah.
Alright, can you write that in expanded form or in a different way, like I was doing it earlier when I said, is this the same way to write this number? Did you try that as a challenge?
Wait, what?
11.
Oh,
So
yeah.
write it in a different way, like maybe expanded form, or like how we do number of the day.
The 1.
So let's see, how many ones are left?
1.
1. And then you have a group of 10, and you moved it over, so where would that go?
The 8 becomes the 9.
You could do that, or just put a little 1 there, but yeah, the 8 could be a 9.
1 becomes 2.
Well, nothing happens there yet, right, because you now have to do what you did in this column.
So then the 8 plus the 1
Mhm.
is a 9.
Okay, and what about this 9? You gotta add those all together, this whole thing, just like you did over here.
The 9 would be
Okay, so what did you come up with? Now we gotta look, you have your 9 over here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. What if we move this one down? What would that what would happen? 2, 4, 6, 8. So we always wanna look for groups of 10. So that 9 plus 1 is a nice group of 10. So what would you do with that group of 10? Trade it in, awesome. Alright, so we're gonna trade in 10 sticks. What are you gonna grab?
3.
So if you're gonna move it over, what do we have to do? Sure, so move it over, okay, and then we have, how many left over here? So you took that 9 and 1 and made it a 10. Okay, and then you
8
said you made another one here? And then you have, okay,
I
so
wrote
now
it
check that that matches your board.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wrote it in another way, and we're gonna look at those in 1 second.
8 more.
So 8 more, put it down. And then you have just those 200s. And is that what your board says?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
let's
think-
check. Everyone has
I think it was-
281.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone has 281. Does everyone have 200 on their board?
Yes.
Plus the 80,
Yeah.
20, 40. Can you prove that it's 80?
2,
20. Or you can count by 10. 80, and then
1.
1. So 200 plus 80 plus 1. All right, nice job, girls. We'll start with some subtraction. We'll try tomorrow, okay?